Hi, Scorpio, Sun and Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for May 2020. I have with me the Radiant White deck, La Vida Sibilas, and 3 different oracle cards. And depending on what the reading is about, will determine which one of either the angel answer or the romance angels. I might even pull both, but we'll definitely pull one Golden Nostradamus card. I've already done some meditation and shuffling on their sign. So we're going to go ahead and get directly into the reading. Here we go. 9 cards down. Queen of Swords. Oh, Page of Pentacles. The World reversed. Well, all these cards, they are so funny. Yeah, because it was like I've been telling like everybody on my Twitter account when people are posting weird stuff, and I'm like, yeah, well, we're in the upside down. So, Ace of Pentacles. Oh, the reverse tower. Which, if the tower is going to come out, I like to see it reversed. It still speaks to the unexpected, something that occurs that you weren't prepared for or you didn't plan for. But reversed just simply means that the effect of it is not as perhaps shocking or detrimental as it could be right side up. Yep, there it is, the 5 of Wands. Here is the 6 of Wands. Okay. The reverse 2 of Cups. Wow, that's interesting. And then there is the Temperance card. So I would take it that we do have these 2 court cards at the top. We have 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards. We have 2 pentacles, 2 wands, a cup, and a swords card. So to me, this speaks to the idea of some kind of lesson that you have to go back and learn. And whatever this thing is, this new way of doing things, and this may even have some kind of, I don't know, work or financial component to it. I don't want to say kind of blows up, but kind of goes sideways, creating a conflict. But we do see that there is some kind of victory in this, but yet we lose out on a partnership. And this Temperance card is about the healing of that, whatever this thing is. What is underneath the deck? We have the Page of Swords. Definitely some kind of news or message coming in. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, remember how, I'm always looking at my documents on my phone, and I said I was going to fix that and do something better. Well, I got this book, this notebook, and I put it together, and I printed out all of my well, not all of my documents, but the majority of my documents, and I have them here. So what we're going to do first, since I'm in the major arcana, I'm going to look at the 2 major arcana reversed. The World is the last card in the major arcana, and it always speaks to the end of some kind of cycle. Okay, whether this is a spiritual cycle, an actual cycle, it can sometimes indeed refer to world circumstances, the way things are. It can sometimes even speak to travel. So the key words to the reverse world are laziness, lacking in goals, a lack of will, delay, frustration, inertia, stagnation, and permanence. Appearing reversed, it indicates a refusal to explore new avenues that will not help you attain success. Stagnation has set in due to fear. You are inclined to resist change, so therefore you are stuck in the present unsatisfactory situation. It indicates a cycle of frustration and boredom. A new approach is needed to break free of the cycle, reassess the situation, and accept other ideas as well as your own. I just get the sense that something was presented to you And maybe you accepted it and moved forward with it. But for some of you, there was something unexpected that occurred because of it. It tells of the failure to work at improving yourself or your situation because of your belief and expectation that the world owes you a living. It implies a holding back of personal development and asks that you make a change of attitude and make positive plans to help alleviate the situation you currently find yourself in. Your personal integrity and self-respect should allow you to pull yourself out of this cycle. It may be implying a stubborn attitude and a resistance to shift. This will not lead to positive change in your life, so be prepared to listen to and accept other people's ideas and or views. And that's what this is. But whatever this thing is, this opportunity, it shakes everything up and it creates conflict. That's what fives represent. Fives represent change. They represent conflict. It represents tension and anxiety. But yet, we all know that sometimes life throws us a curveball or situations come about in which we're going to have to be forced to change or to accept the change, even an unexpected one that kind of throws everything into chaos, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't actually, overcome that. Obviously you do, but it is at the loss of some other kind of, I don't know, partnership here. It may be telling you that although you are working very hard, you may not be applying yourself in the right way. Look to new and different ways of doing things in order to find success. It tells of being afraid of change, feeling insecure, and showing a distinct lack of vision. It indicates that you may lack courage and convictions at this time. An opportunity may arise and you will have to act quickly and decisively. But if you don't take advantage of this opportunity, there may be regrets in the future. It may be indicating that there is a reason to remain aware and be aware of upheavals that will knock you off your path. It tells that you have experienced many lessons in your life but have not learned from them. It tells that someone who seems to be trying hard is not really applying themselves in the correct way, leading to failure. That's what the reversed world card says. And it's odd because to me, the Queen of Swords, she typically is someone who's very intellectually sharp, can be shrewd, um, a real stickler for details and doing things by the book. But she can also be somebody who is rather difficult to deal with in terms of, what's the word? In terms of being able to see other people's point of view. Okay, let's take a look at this reversed Tower card. It speaks to distress, procrastination, self-injury, self-sabotage, separations, unwelcome changes, unexpected events, adversity, deception, ruin, oppression, imprisonment, tyranny, and ongoing depression. I don't see this as a depression issue. It signifies some misfortune or unpleasant event which could have been avoided or which has been allowed to develop over a period of time. In a sense, the resulting injury is self-inflicted. It may be inferring that you feel dominated by someone or something and feel powerless to fight back. You should concentrate on the future and on ways to redress the balance of power. And that's what this card is about. It is about the balance. It indicates that things are changing for a good reason, so try not to resist the inevitable destruction of present circumstances as they are necessary. It indicates, reverse, that you are to expect a change for the worse, maybe even an unforeseen catastrophe. It signifies that plans may be brought to an abrupt halt. It may be warning of sudden unemployment, loss of security and position. That could be this. It indicates chaos to do with financial issues or emotional upheaval, or possibly both. It is warning you that you can be and possibly are your own worst enemy, so do not be self-destructive. It tells of the wrong use or abuse of personal will and power. It can refer to false imprisonment, false accusations, oppressions, and or being trapped in an unhappy situation or relationship. It asks that you be courageous and face the difficulties and obstacles ahead and deal with them. It asks you to look at things as they really are and face the facts. Don't be put off by false ideas and ignore any opposition. It may be indicating that you are reaching a boiling point where you can no longer live within the confines that surround you. It may be warning you that someone around you is displaying a false persona. So remain aware. Now, I don't know if this is a actual financial and work issue, okay? But it definitely is some new kind of opportunity coming in for you to take a new path to do something different. Maybe this was interrupted, or maybe you didn't act on it when you should, and now you're in conflict with people. Now this has brought up arguments. Now let me see if I can discover. We will start with the Ace of Pentacles to see if this can tell us anything next to these major arcana cards. Okay, if there's any extra information that can be gleaned from this. I have a feeling we may have to depend on what's his name, Nostradamus, to give us some now. This is what's interesting, because this could be the idea that this was like a graduation. This is usually the study card. The Page of Pentacles is always a student. All pages are students. This one is a student of communication, this Page of Swords. Whereas the Page of Pentacles is the student of the mundane, the actual learning how to do something, going through the process of doing something, putting in the actual physical work. Typically, he's somebody who studies long and hard. He always, implies good news or good events or good prospects. But then suddenly the world is upside down, is it not? So it says the Ace of Pentacles can be telling you that things are looking up for you, to expect an important document, letter, or fax or email, as this will form the basis of a new and prosperous beginning. An award, degree, diploma, accolade, certificate, letter, or important legal document is on its way into your life. Its contents will please you as it signifies recognition for work well done. This may have been something you've been waiting on. Now that's the Ace of Pentacles, but I do believe truly that this is what the situation is about. You were about to graduate from something. You were about to complete something, and suddenly circumstances in the world turned everything upside down. Let's take a look at this Five of Wands here to see if it can tell us anything, being next to the tells me nothing being next to these cards. So we move now to the Six of Wands, and it tells me nothing being next to these cards, not even the Pentacles. But now we're going to look at this Two of Cups. Okay, the Two of Cups appearing with the Tower tells of adjustments or readjustments needing to be made within a personal relationship. This could be caused by unexpected circumstances and changes, or because of stress or pressure caused by waiting for expected news or information. I don't know if some of you are waiting to hear back about a job or a project or some new kind of opportunity coming in. Here is the reversed Two of Cups. Arguments, mistrust, disagreements, conflict, betrayal, separation, broken promises, broken romances, the end of a relationship, disharmony, divorce, unfulfilling and dissatisfying relationships. Appearing reversed, it may be signifying an argument, disagreement, or conflict of some kind within a close relationship. It may also imply a mistrust and a sense of betrayal. It indicates that partnerships may falter because too much energy is being put into them, creating an intense and suffocating relationship. It suggests that there may be a problem and one must focus on the highest truths of the relationship in order to work it out. It may indicate that a new perspective or concept is needed. It warns you that decisions regarding the long-term future of a relationship are best left for a time, so do not act in haste. Indeed, get your emotions and your anger in check. That's what this is saying. It may be telling of challenges, obstacles, arguments, and disagreements within a relationship. It asks that you not be possessive, overbearing, or too demanding. Otherwise, this may damage the love within a relationship. Instead, consider all options and think things through to get a new or different perspective. Relationship-wise, appearing reverse, it indicates that a loss of balance is happening within the relationship. This may be caused by one being either too possessive or too demanding upon the others, or through a lack of mutual trust. It can indicate that the pairing off to the exclusion of all other people and situations is taking place and must be brought to the forefront. Unhealthy relationships that drain your energies need to be reassessed, and a new course of action may be needed. You know, it's this Page of Pentacles here. Because the energy is that, in a sense, this is somebody bringing you a message that kind of turns everything upside down. That's what it feels like to me. Hold on. Let's get to the Page of Coins or Pentacles, shall we? Hold on, let me find him. Here he is. He's not reversed. And it speaks about people, lots of people being together. This is somebody who enjoys study and research, and if anybody can get to the bottom of something, maybe that's what this is. This is about using your skills or honing your skills to do some kind of research or some kind of, research. It says it depicts a young person who enjoys studying and research. It tells of someone who will be delivering good news or needed information. This will bring about positive changes in your life. It may be telling of meeting with someone who is empathetic to your point of view. The person is kind and generous and will offer assistance. It may be indicating that someone will be giving you some good news that may change your life in a positive manner. It may be signifying that meeting with a positive person will bring about solidarity and a new plan on how to go about things productively. It tells of a positive and prosperous alliance, but that doesn't come to fruition. It may be indicating that someone will be giving you, I just read that. Changes for the better are coming into your life, and these changes will be brought about by someone who genuinely cares about you and your life. Financially, it indicates a new hobby or interest that may develop into a profession or a money-making venture in the future. It may be telling that there is much hard work to be done, which may require further study and research. Appearing in a reading, it implies a focus on study and research. If you have recently begun studying for an examination, the presence of the Page of Pentacles suggests that the results will be favorable. Good news and information will soon be received. You will be rewarded for a period of study that required self-discipline and determination. You will feel proud of your efforts and will feel great confidences in your abilities. It may be telling of a golden opportunity which is to be seized upon. But this change is something you're not willing to accept. And it's like it's put to you again. Let's take a look at these. First thing I want to do is I want to look at this message of this Page of Pentacles and see. I do get the opportunity. I do get the sense that you will be presented with another opportunity to kind of fix this situation, okay? But I also get the sense that this has to do with the nodal, one of the nodal shifts. I think we have, there was a Sagittarius in the South Node. I think it's Sagittarius, the South Node, or maybe the North Node has just moved into Sagittarius. I can't remember which one it is. However, I do not get the sense that there will be a formal coming back together, but I think you will get an opportunity to heal this situation so that you can move forward. Let's take a look at the Page of Pentacles here. L'amica. Yes. La riunione. And the militare. So somebody, a colleague, a sister, a friend, basically it's like a colleague or a friend, the l'amica. Typically, she is somebody who not only gives good advice, but may be in a position to help you, usually financially or through the introducing you to someone who can help you. That there was a meeting that came in, but apparently that meeting, I think, kind of went south. Okay, the expectations maybe of how it was supposed to go out because the militare has shown up. Let's take a look at this this reverse tower in the center. Now, I don't know if this is like, you know, a business partner relationship, because the Two of Cups is not always a romantic relationship. It is any relationship in which the two people just kind of get each other. And these can be business partnerships, you know, friendships, where there's a great understanding, respect, and harmony between the two people. The reverse l'amica. Well, there you have it. Isn't that odd? Fedeltà. And the giovane fanciulla. Wow. I don't know if this is telling me that this l'amica, who may be this Queen of Swords, but this l'amica actually turned out to be the l'inimica based upon this card. It's definitely somebody who has come in and just completely screwed up the whole situation, whatever the situation is. Now, La riunione can sometimes be the idea of good business contracts, but most of the time it just speaks to a meeting, you know. The limoneo, well, there we see the contractual issue here. The yardro. Okay, so this is a stolen partnership or stolen relationship, contractual issue. And the bambino, which speaks to things that have not fully developed yet, that there is still perhaps some time to alter the situation, particularly falling in this, what do you call it? The future position. Let's read the the l'amica. She is, I think, the Four of Clubs. It's a positive card. It represents a woman of any age group, most likely a friend, but it can also be a relative, a partner, daughter, sister, colleague, or simply just an acquaintance, somebody that you don't know very well, but you know. The person is neither good or bad. The preponderant meaning of this card is friendship, loyalty, and support. It represents someone in whom we can trust, someone who is here to listen, give good advice and comfort, and will make us feel at ease. It represents a friend's house or the house of a relative. In business, it represents good advice received by someone and or a period of prosperity and financial security. It also points to good relationships with one's colleagues as well as cooperation and team spirit. It may also represent a common project. If this is a romantic relationship, or that's kind of what's happening around it, it says in love it heralds loyalty and feelings of security. However, if surrounded by negative cards, it may represent unrequited love, inasmuch as the loved one sees the other as a friend and not a lover. It indicates a peaceful time with a friend, harmonious relationships, social connections, a celebration, and learning by being a part of a group with a common interest. It can sometimes even represent a psychologist or a nun, but these are secondary meanings. Sometimes she will show up like that, like an advisor, a mentor, a counselor of some sort. The Riunione, the Eight of Wands. There's a lot of wands here. Now, it is the card par excellence that represents a reconciliation after an argument, a truce, or meeting the other halfway in any type of relationship. In romantic relationship situations, it indicates making up after a disagreement, a loved one who comes back, and a period of harmony and fulfillment. It is a positive card because it can predict where there were disagreements that caused separations. Uh, if this is a long distance relationship, it can mean that the partner will now be closer, if not being around on a more consistent basis. It brings renewed hope, harmony, and better circumstances. But it also has two neutral meanings. One is simply that of an appointment, a reunion, or a date. The other is the indication of being in a rural area, the countryside, woodland, agriculture, and farming. In financial matters, it represents a good solution to a problematic situation. This is a card of a successful outcome in a lawsuit. Problems with the law will be averted, but I don't think so. I think that there is a reversal of this legal situation. This is the Ten of Spades, or Piche. It's not always a bad card. Basically, it can represent a male, someone no older than 35, or represent anyone wearing a uniform, particularly if there's a woman near it. The person can be a soldier, a prison warden, a policeman, a bodyguard, but can also be a nurse. Never a doctor, because we have that card of the doctor. Person can also be a sailor, a pilot, a fireman, and or a flight attendant. It represents someone with clear goals in life. The person is determined to get what they want. They can be loyal on the one hand, but a fierce adversary on the other, particularly when revoked. The second person represented by this card is someone in a position of authority, whose disposition is despotic, authoritarian, and only interested in self-advancement. Generally, the card represents authority, organization, and power, and it also represents physical strength and prowess. Emotionally, it indicates that inner strength will help you pull through. It also represents a conquest, a win after much sweat and toil. It predicts that you will have someone who will fight for you and who will protect you. The neutral meaning of the card is that of representing hostile environments, the outdoors, or any environment in which it is difficult to survive. In love, it represents someone who has trust issues, who is always afraid that their partner is cheating on them and consequently makes their partner's life difficult, spying on their every move. Often it means a partner who is unfaithful. In any relationship, it suggests selfishness and or abuse and can also indicate carnal attraction. In financial matters, it heralds struggle and legal troubles of some kind in which the state will become involved. Now, the negative meanings are associated with the neutral meaning of strength. In other words, it indicates struggle, opposition, ruthlessness, war, and conflict. It indicates that you will meet with a lot of struggle before your goals are achieved. It also means someone who will give you a lot of grief and oppose your efforts to succeed. Much inner strength and determination are needed to succeed and win the war with this fierce opponent. It also acts as a warning of possible violence, usurpation, brutality, abuse of power, and of being taken advantage of by unscrupulous people. I tell you what, here is this is the Queen of Swords. So she shows up again. So I think this is somebody that you're battling with. And when you see the reverse La Namica, she is really bad. It's already a negative card. And basically, this card, when she shows up, hang on one second. Hang on, be right back. Basically, when the La Namica uh, presents herself right side up, she speaks to somebody that you don't know who is working against you. It's an unknown enemy, okay? Always a woman, and somebody who's ruthless and vindictive, and indicates imminent danger. When she shows up reversed, it's even worse, because it shows that there's more evil, obstinacy, and relentlessness in the desire to cause grievous bodily harm. It can represent a mentally unhinged woman with possible criminal tendencies. Ruthless and vindictive, she will not stop unless the object of her vicious hatred is destroyed. It now indicates imminent danger, as the Queen has already let someone become too intimate and close to you, and the enemy is about to strike. So be careful when this card shows up in a reading. And not only that, this could also be you. I'm not going to bullshit you. This is something you could be planning on doing, okay? But it indicates definitely the presence of black magic, and that the enemy has chosen a valid occult operator to carry out the attack, not a charlatan. Well, in a broader sense, though, it says that this is one of the worst cards in the deck if you suspect that you have been cursed, because it gives a resounding affirmative response. Financially, it indicates poverty and serious struggles with money. In a broader sense, though, it indicates a tragic event, a revengeful plot, murderous rage, someone who has maliciously infiltrated themselves into your life and woven a tight web of negativity, poisoning good relationships, and closing doors of opportunities due to malicious gossip. But it also heralds violent arguments, blackmail, cold-blooded revenge, vendettas, feuds, envy, gossip, and machinations to destroy you. Insidious lies, traps, and slanders that appear to be real and sharp and cunning. That's it. And that's what this is about. You have found out who the person is. And what's so interesting is there's the friendship card in between these. It is somebody that you trusted. And it could be that, well, this is interesting because she's telling me something. This is the loss of a close personal relationship. The nature of not which I'm sure. I don't know if it's just like a colleague, a familial relationship, but you trusted this person and you believed in this person. And oddly enough, the relationship you thought was on very solid foundations. And the Tower comes in to tell you that no, that's not true. When it is near a significant person, it indicates the traits of loyalty and dependability in someone we can trust and lean on. It indicates a true friend, someone who is able to give us sustenance and protection and watch over us. Now, sometimes this can be somebody who protects us in spirit, or a spirit guide. It can represent a guardian. Okay? During a crisis, it points to the presence of someone we can rely on and who will help pull us through, because it indicates good instincts and hunches. Now, she is not showing up as a person at all. What she's doing is she's telling me what the problem is. What is the source of the issue, this problem? You have just discovered that somebody, maybe it's somebody that you met with, you were supposed to meet with, or maybe somebody introduced you, you went someplace, you met somebody, this was supposed to be a real opportunity for you, and suddenly somebody like either calls the police, you get in a fight, the shit just goes south. It goes south. Everything is turned upside down. So maybe you try to walk away and take a different path, but you also discover suddenly who that person really is. Maybe that's what this is telling me. Let me read to you. She's the Queen of Wands. So this could be like your boss, somebody that you, another colleague. She's usually young, younger than 30. A sister, a colleague, a relative. Somebody who's already known to you. But what you didn't know, okay, is who this person was. So let's see. She's not showing up as a person. What she's showing up is she's representing, she's pointing to that of the problem, a danger, and an underlying problem that is specific to you. All the cards on the left-hand side tell me this is what she holds the key to. And she holds the key to the fact that you discovered that somebody, you didn't know who it was, right? But somebody has had it in for you, and they have struck. Okay? They've struck. And maybe this Fidelity card is the idea of that guardian, that spirit guardian, helping you, even though this shit was pretty bad. Why do I say that? Because the Tower is reversed. You can't accept that there's been a change, how the change came about, who the person was that instituted the change, right? But the truth of the matter is, with the lessons already learned, is that you need to accept it for what it is so that you can move on. I do see a healing coming out of this. So the cards usually say, where she's pointing, look behind me, as this is where the danger is coming from. She can sometimes be showing you as well that there's danger from this, in this direction. Okay? And she's warning you that this relationship, whatever it is, it's gonna break up. In financial matters, it points to inexperience and rash mistakes. It also represents internships, someone who has just started working, or the trial period in a job or contract. In love, it can represent a crush, the first love, someone who is beside it, and a completely irrational romantic attachment. It can also point to anxiety and love, and to a particular degree of uncertainty and instability. The three words associated with this card are fragility, vulnerability, and impressionability. Now, sometimes when the child card shows up, it can indicate a baby girl, or even a teen pregnancy. Well, the Ace of Wands, the Lemoneos. It is extremely positive as it indicates commitment, a marriage proposal, a wedding, an engagement, or a serious partnership. It indicates a formal union of two people. But with negative cards, it can indicate a partner who is already married or committed to another. The reason why it is found in the suit of clubs and not hearts is that the love that it refers to is always marked by a formal declaration, or by a love that is thicker than water, namely blood ties. It is the sex card par excellence. It indicates the conception of a child when it is near the child card, usually a male son. In general, the interpretation indicates anything that has been agreed between two or more people and that involves a formal interaction of two or more people. It represents a contract, an agreement, a pact, or a promise, and also a society, a group, an association, and a foundation based on common interest. In financial matters, it indicates money, material possessions, successful financial transactions, and the successful stipulation of contracts or business deals. It often shows up as a positive response when you want to know if you've been hired, because it indicates prosperity in business and financial matters. It can even sometimes represent precious metals, but it also represents a wedding or the beginning of a marriage. Metaphorically, it represents the beginning of something. It can indicate progress on all fronts or a situation that will finally yield results. But here comes the thief. Any card that sits near it is branded with the stigma of theft, untrustworthiness, or loss. It indicates a person who steals something or someone from their rightful owner. This thief can actually physically steal something for someone, or it can be that someone, usually a dependent, is a great financial strain on you. The broader interpretation indicates contracts with hidden clauses that lock people into having to pay for something that they do not really want, or contracts that offer little or no way of terminating them. More often than not, this card is connected to the loss of something physical and obtaining money by deception. It heralds a negative change, a sudden turn of events for the worse. These events are caused by the presence of ill-intentioned people near you. It will usually indicate unknown people are present, in which case we may not know of the author of the theft, but it indicates a loss of any kind. It indicates someone who wants to acquire something that does not belong to them, someone with ulterior motives and a calculating mind. When it indicates particular situations, it indicates a condition of mental, emotional, physical, or financial drain. It is a very taxing situation on many levels. It can, of course, indicate burglaries and thefts of all kind, whether ongoing or as a one-off occurrence. Now, if this was if the money card had shown up, the safe card, it could be that somebody's been stealing money from you. But basically, on an emotional level, it indicates betrayal and treachery, and indicates all those things that steal something from the soul. It is connected with the idea of spiritual deprivation. It refers to demeaning situations, immoral practices, or being forced to do something under duress, either mental or physical. It also indicates someone who has lost their faith due to the occurrence of an unpleasant event or the actions of an unpleasant person that has caused their loss. Financially, the card is terrible, for it heralds the theft. It heralds theft, a loss of money, loan sharks, extortions, money laundering, business offers that will be revoked, illegal activities, or obtaining things by deception, Ponzi schemes, and all kinds of swindles. It can represent someone born into abject poverty due to the presence of the bare feet. Somebody has come stolen into this relationship. In love, it indicates someone who is unfaithful and or someone who wants to steal your partner. And maybe you want to steal somebody's partner, I don't know. But it also indicates a lack of affinity between two people, whether in a love relationship or not. It is a card of contracts and clashes of personality. When it is near the 4 of diamonds and or the 11 of spades, it indicates that this is somebody in your circle of acquaintances, a close family member. And here is the bambino. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the 7 of coins. Reversed. It says that it represents something that is not yet ready to be born, a situation that is still immature. This can be brought into adults. It lengthens the time frame indicated by other cards. It is also linked to the idea of delay, slowness, long stretches of time, and all situations that are still up in the air and have not taken a concrete form. But near negative cards, it indicates a bad start, something or someone with unstable foundations. It is symbolic of someone who is naive, inexperienced, too trusting, and gullible. And when it describes painful circumstances, it does so by saying that this is a pain that stings one to the quick and deeply affects you. In financial matters, it is connected with investments that will take a long time before they begin to pay dividends. It is also connected to anxiety over unclear situations where money is at stake. If it represents a child, it is likely that his or her behavior is most undesirable and that this child is a great source of worry for you. In love, it represents a relationship that was blighted from the beginning. It also represents a situation that will not make it past the early stages of infatuation. It also describes someone with the Peter Pan syndrome and someone who is not able to take responsibility for the outcome of their action. It indicates great uncertainty, hang-ups, doubt, and indecisions that will have to be paid for dearly. Now, sometimes it can indicate miscarriages or abortions or diseases that are caught in time to nip in the bud, infertility, and impotence. It can also indicate catching a typical childhood disease, something like chicken pox or the measles, but that's not what I'm picking up. Whatever this thing is, it turns everything upside down, and you're going to have to fight to come back from it. I'm really sorry about that, Scorpio. But whatever the riff or the break is, you're going to have to accept it. There's nothing that you can do about it. I know that kind of sucks. And you maybe want to strike out and get your revenge. You know, I don't think it would be worth it. I just get the feeling some of you are like having real difficulty accepting this, and I get that. You really are hurt. I get that. I get that. For some of you, across this diagonal here, it shows that this person did get the better of you. But here, the truth of the matter is that in the end, when the dust settles, okay, you are going to be able to come back from this. But you're going to have to get yourself in check. I can't state it any other way than that. You're going to have to find the balance. Because if you look at this card, that same path that was open to you with this, after all is said and done and the smoke settles and the dust clears, that path is still open to you. And you're going to have to realize what the lesson is or accept the lesson. And maybe this isn't the first time that this has happened with this individual. Formulate your question for the angel answer. Listen to your intuition. And maybe that's what you don't want to accept. Like you found out who the person is and you don't want to accept it. That this person really, really had it in for you and they really wanted to cause you some severe harm, if not bodily injury. They wanted to wreck your life. Now, if this is you wanting to wreck somebody's life, you still have time to change that. If you will refocus that towards accepting whatever the situation is. I mean, there are lots of situations that happen to us that are shit. Right? But you still can't change what happens. And maybe seeking revenge might make you feel better on the one hand. But ultimately, it's not going to, it still won't change the situation. Right? Romance angels. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. See, what do I always tell you? The best revenge is living well. You know what I'm saying? That's the best revenge, is living well. Go put on your fuck him shoes and fuck him dress. Make yourself look good. Even if you feel like shit, you've been crying and crying and crying. And go somewhere and look good. Smile, be happy. You see what I'm saying? Fake it till you make it. It can be difficult, yes. Let's see what Nostradamus has to tell us. If he can show us a bit more information or give us a bit more advice on this, because the Temperance card, it implies a long, slow healing. It does. But the implication is that you can heal. What does Nostradamus have to tell us? What can he see that we can't? The Ring. Would you look at that? Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is completely reliable and accurate at this time. Listen to your own inner guidance and you cannot go wrong. You can be certain that the messages you are receiving from your angels are real and trustworthy. Have faith in your feelings about the circumstances you are experiencing. Your insights into other people and their true feelings or motives are perfectly accurate. There is no need to question what you know is true. That's deep. Open your heart. Maybe you've been trying to hang on to this person for too long. It's time to let them go. Really it is. No, maybe the person's saying something. You drove me. No. Because remember, they always had choice. But you always as well had choice in how you were in relationship with that person. It indicates that you are protecting your heart from hurt because of painful relationship experiences. However, the angels can only bring as much romance as you allow. If you have a shield around your heart, how is love to get in? A closed heart repels a sensitive partner you are trying to attract. Following your inner guidance will protect you and simultaneously allow you to feel loved and loving. Trust your intuitive senses with respect to other people's trustworthiness, and open your heart to those who are kind and gentle. Ask the angels to bring caring individuals, including a romantic partner, into your life, and they will do so, provided that you listen to and follow their guidance. That's deep. And now, the Ring. Where there is no love, there is no life. Never a joy, only struggles and strife. A happy event is coming. For example, an engagement, a wedding, or an alliance. This card may announce family reunions or meetings with friends, their joy, and sharing with someone. Well, you may not get to go share it at the place or with the people that you thought it was, okay? But eventually you will heal and you'll get to have the last laugh. Live well, my Scorpio friend. Live well. Till next time, I hope this message helped. Namaste.